Let us look at the first problem in the part B of Advanced Java Lab. In this particular exercise, we are supposed to create a menu-driven JDBC program to perform the basic operation with the student table. And the operation that they have specified is to add a new student and to delete a student, update the student address, as well as search for a particular student. And the table that they have given is the table with the following fields. So let's go ahead and let's start the new Java application. So I'm going to go to the NetBeans and I'm going to click on the file and new project. Under this new project, I'm going to select the Java as my application. And within the Java application, let me click next. And we are supposed to give some information, some name to our project. And I'm going to say student info management, anything you can give. Let me click finish to finish off the project. And one thing you must notice that if you have a lot of project over here, you can just right click on any of them and then select the delete button or just press delete. The NetBeans is going to ask you whether do you want to delete it permanently from the hard disk. If you select the checkbox, that means you want to delete the including the source file, or else it's going to delete from this list. So this is what we have, student information management system, and we are supposed to do something with it. So let's first go and create a database, and I'm going to go to the services over here, and within this service I'm going to go to the servers, and our service that we are going to use is a database server, and this is going to be a Derby database. So if this Java DB is not started, right click and then say start server. It's going to take some time for it to start the server, and you can see the status right at the bottom whether the Java DB server has started. And if it has started, you will see this message that it has started and it is ready to accept the connection on a particular port. Let me go ahead and let's look at if you right click on, if you click on this plus button, you're going to see all the tables that are being created. Let me right click over here on this and then say create a database. And I'm going to create a student database. I'm going to just give it a name as student. Username, I'm going to use my name, and the password I'm going to use ABCD1234. Let me say ABCD1234. This is just for demo purpose I'm using it. So let me finish it off. It's going to create a database for me, and within the database we are supposed to create a few of the fields. So let's look at the fields that we are supposed to create. So this is the first one is the register number. If you look at the NetBeans now, it has created a connection for student, and you notice that this connection is broken. So this you see a broken line over here. So right click on it and then say connect. Then only you will be able to connect to it. So when you click on the connect, it's going to take some time, and you will notice that it has already established the connection. If you click on this plus sign now, you will see the name that I have given. And if you click on the plus in front of the tables, you will find that there are no tables are there. So I'm going to right click and then say create a table at this particular point, and it's going to show me a dialog box. This dialog box contains a few information. First is the name of the table, and I'm going to say std table. You can give any name, student management or anything of that type. Let me click on the add a new column here. So when I click on the add new column, it's going to ask me for the name. I'm going to take this one as integer. You can take as numeric also, and I'm going to make it as primary key. Remember that I made it as a primary key. When you do something as a primary key, you must be extremely careful when you are giving a demonstration to your teacher during the practical examination. Never repeat the register number just because you made it as a primary key. When the primary key is repeated, the database itself will give you an error message. So during the examination, when you show your output, see to it that you don't repeat the register numbers. Let me click OK, and let me go ahead with the next column. And what does the next column say? Next column is the student name, and I'm going to click on this one, yes, name, and I'm going to use the varchar. You have the text and other options which are available, but you are familiar with the varchar. And let me make it as 25. Definitely you will not be able to type more than 25 characters for the name. Let me add the next column, and what does the next column says is the date of birth. Now you can store the date of birth for this exercise as a string itself. There is nothing wrong in doing it, but I'm going to take it as a date. So I'm going to take it as a date. If you say whether you want to allow the null or if you don't want to allow the null, it's up to you. But I strongly suggest you that don't venture into the database part of it. You just have a table and you try to dump the values into the table. And that's important during the examination, because if you complicate your question or your solution, you may have a problem with the, what is this one, finishing the program. So just remember that. And I'm going to make the address also. Let me take it as a varchar and maybe 100 characters. So definitely you know that during the examination you will not be typing 100 characters. So not the default value, sorry. The size is 100 characters. So I'm going to just make the address varchar and the size is this much. I'm going to just click finish. Let me add the next column, and the class, I'm going to select st class, and I'm pasting it. That's it I'm doing. So then I'm going to select it as varchar, and I'm going to make it as again 25 characters. So it doesn't matter, the size may not be very much required. And let me go to the last one, and that is the course. Control C to copy it from here, and I'm going to paste it on the other side, and I'm going to say the varchar 25. You can change the data type, but my suggestion is don't venture into that one, because it's not really required to do a complicated database during the examination. And this is what I have the register number, which is integer, and the name 25 characters, date of birth, forget the size because it's a date type, and address, class, and the course, all of them happen to be, two of them happens to be 25, and the address being slightly larger is going to be 100 characters. So let me click on OK to create the my table, and you have all the columns in the table. Let's come back to the the Java part now. And the first thing that we are going to do is I'm going to do the program in the main function of whichever class it has created. Now we know very well the NetBeans is going to create a class with the same name as your project name, and let it be the same class. I just want a static void main, and the rest of the things are obvious to me. So let me try to create a scanner class, because you know very well you need something to input. So naturally you need a scanner class. I'm going to use it from the utilities. I'm going to select it and press enter, and the NetBeans will add the import statement for me. And I'm going to call it as in equal to new scanner, and I'm going to use the input string. I'm going to say system dot in is my string. With that, I have to create a, what is this, a menu over here. So let me create a menu, and you know very well whenever you have a menu you have to have the choices, and they have given 1 2 3 4 different choices are there. Fifth choice happens to be the favorite one, and let me say this is the choice, and my default value is 5. That means first thing I want to do is exit out of this particular program. So that's the fifth option. So fifth option is always the favorite one, and that is going to close the program. So let me use the while loop, and or you can use the do while loop, it's up to you. I'm going to use the do while loop because often some people say that use this do while loop. Anyone is okay. Remember, this is an infinite loop. Whenever you create an infinite loop, see to it that the first thing that you are going to do is you will write the condition to exit out of this particular particular loop. If you don't exit, your program will run forever. So that's the first thing. Let me go over here and let me use the s out, and I'm going to give some space, and I'm going to say this is my menu. I think that's enough. Okay. And after that, I'm going to say s out, not c out, s out. And if you are getting confused what I'm doing, I'm actually writing this s out in small case, and I press tab from my keyboard. The minute I press tab from my keyboard, after writing s out, NetBeans will write that system.out.println for me, so that I can save my time in typing that whole thing or copying them. The first thing is to add the student. Second one is to delete the student, and so on and so forth. So let's start with the first one is to add a student. That's the first one. Let me go and let me not waste my time, and I'm going to just paste a few of these things so that I know a few choices will be there. I need one more choice. So the second choice happens to be delete student. So delete student. The third choice is to update student. So I'm going to say update student. Update student. What is the fourth choice? Fourth choice is to search student. So this is third choice, sorry, and this one happens to be the fourth choice, search student. Definitely, what else is there in the fifth choice? Fifth choice is to exit. Okay, so that's great. So exit from the program, that will be your fifth choice. Let me write s out, and I'm going to finish it off this part, and I'm going to say yes out, yes out, and I'm going to say enter your choice. Okay, we will do that. I'm going to put one space extra here, and I will remove this ln. I'm going to make it as a print so that the cursor will stop right after that arrow that I've created here. So the cursor will stop rather than going to the next line. With that being done, let me take the choice that the user has given. Choice is in dot. Remember, in is my scanner class I've just created. That's the scanner class. Choice I've already created it. So in dot, the next integer. That's what I'm going to take. So I got the choice. I'm going to use the switch statement, and I'm going to say switch on the choice. So this is it. And my favorite choice, I'm going to write it. So case is 5 here. And if the case is 5, you know very well, if the case happens to be 5 and you are going to be, you are safe here, somebody presses this particular thing, I'm going to use S out and then say thank you for using my software. And I'm going to use the word return. So what is this return means? Return means, you know very well, you are in the static void main method, and you know very well, in any method, if you say return, it's going to come out of this main method. If it comes out of this main method, you know very well, your class itself will go for garbage collection and your program will end. So what if the person has not written that particular thing? So this person, instead of typing 1 2 3 4, the person has typed something else. In that case, I'm going to say wrong choice. Okay, so wrong choice, and I'm going to say /n, try again. Not this. What is this? Try. What is this? Try again. Okay, I'm going to show that thing. Wrong choice. Let me say dot dot dot. Wrong choice. Try again. Okay, so this is what you have it. So let me right click and this say run it. You have the shift F6 to run this program, the shortcut. And this is what you are going to see. Enter your choice, and you see that the cursor is not moving down. So I'm going to type my choice is 7, and you get the wrong choice. Try again. I say my choice is 5, and that's going to be the favorite one. and it's going to say thank you, and it has exited from the program. So I'm going to go to this edge over here. Remember, this is the edge where you have to go and then decrease it. Okay, suppose if you close this one by clicking here, go to the window and you get the option, lot of options are there, out of which you have the option output. The shortcut is Control 4. In any case, let's go ahead and let's try the first part. And what's the first thing? So what's the case one happens to be? Case one, we are supposed to do something, and at the end of the day, we are supposed to break out of that case. So let's look at what is that we are supposed to do. So we are supposed to get the details from the user, and that is what we are supposed to do. Add student. So let me create some variable. I'm going to create where can I create the variables? Okay, anywhere I can create it, but it's up to me. So first one, int reg number. This is what I want. Then I'm going to use all of them as a string, including the date of birth. I'm going to take it as a string because it's not going to make any difference. You can take it as what do you say, date. It's up to you. Okay, so let me take the student name and student address. Else I have done that. Let me just see what else you have. Student name, student address, class and course. Yes, class and yes, course. Okay. Date of birth. I'm going to take if you want to, you take it as the other one. Okay. I don't think so. This need to be not this date. I need a class DOB. I don't think so. That's going to make any difference in life, even if I take it. But the problem is you have to import this one. So just keep the cursor and press Control space, and it's going to give you and the date from the class that I am not looking at that particular class. Where is this class? Java dot. I need java.sql. Okay, so where is it is deeply buried inside that. Okay, I'm going to go date. What? Why it is not giving me the dates? In any case, if it's not giving, let me not waste time. So import java.sql dot date. Is it there? Okay, I'm going to use this date. Okay, it is giving, no doubt, the NetBeans is giving me that, but I have to search. When I went here, it gave me a lot of things, but I know that the date is from the SQL, so I'm going to type it rather than searching and looking at it is going to be a waste of time as such. Okay, so that's being done. Let's go to the first part, and what else we want. I'm going to say yes out the and say dash 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 enter student detail, enter student details. Okay, dash 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 dash. Okay, that's enough. Let's start with the S out, and I'm going to say register number. And one thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to use print rather than print line. See, this is my style of doing it. I don't want the cursor to go to the next line. This is my style that I'm not forcing anybody to use the same style. If you want, you retain that printer line, but I don't like that, so I'm going to do that. In dot next int. Okay, that's you know very well. So got it. Let's go with the what is the next thing? Yes out, and let's go with the name of the student. Okay, name of the student, and I don't want this okay ln to come here, and let's read the name. Yes name is my variable. I just created a variable yes name here, which is of type string. So I'm going to just take that yes name, and I'm going to say in dot, what is this in that I'm looking at here is the in is that scanner class that I've just created. So this is my scanner class. From the scanner class, I'm going to say give me the next line. Remember, I'm going to say next line, which is a string. I got that thing. Now remember, this is going to create some problem for you, and it is going to when you have this integer, and after that integer, if you start reading a string, it's going to create a problem. Let me show this one, and I'm going to get back to you that. Okay, and I'm going to say yes out, and I'm going to say a DOB, that is date of birth, and I'm going to tell the user type the date of birth in this format: 4 times y dash month dash date. So this is the format in which you type the date, and I again definitely don't want ln. And I think I strongly feel that see, if you write, because I created this DOB as a date, where is this a date? Now a lot of problems will start. First of all, you need to create go to this date, and you have to get the value, you have to convert it into a thing, and then you have to go to the in, and then you say next line, okay? Or maybe next, anything you can say. Now this kind of thing is going to create a problem for you. Now why do you take that much of trouble? At the end you are going to just put a string value and then use it, okay? This kind of struggle is not really required. At the end I'm going to just remove these two things and then insert it to the database, and you will realize that making it a date won't make much difference. You can take it as a string and then uh, use them in the query. But anyhow, for the time being, I'm going just to use that one. And let me say yes out. This is going to create some problem. I'm going to tell you right at the beginning. You will have some problem, and I'm going to solve that problem definitely. Let me read the S address. That is the address I'm reading. Remember, S address is the variable that I've just declared here. I'm just supplying the value for that. In the dot next line, I'm going to say, what else you have? What else you can have is yes out, and I have this class. Again, I don't want ln. You can just copy paste them if at all you feel like. I don't want ln because I want them to stay in the same line. And I'm going to say yes class. Remember, again, this is the variable I just declared here. I created this variable s class. For that, I'm supplying the value. I'm going to say in dot next line. Okay, done. Last thing I'm going to do is what was this course, I suppose. And let me go over here, and definitely I'm going to remove this ln from here, so that it's not going to create a problem for me. And I'm going to say yes course. You can use control space so that NetBeans will do the needful thing to you. And I'm going to say in dot what was it next line. Done. Okay, this much is being done. Let me just run it and show you what is the problem. I'm going to just show you what is the problem. Let me run it, and then you will realize what is the problem. So you know very well, if the choice is 1, you're going to insert the record. I'm not doing anything, I'm just running it. So add the student detail. I type register number 1234, and you notice what happened. It simply went to the add date of birth. Let me show you what was it. So the first part it gave you was this one, register number. I typed this register number 1234. I typed it here, but it didn't wait for the name. It's not waiting for the name. Rather, it went to the type the date of birth. Now I'm going to type the date of birth as 2024 03 20. I'm going to type that today's date, and I'm going to just press enter, and you notice that it went to the address. So it went to the address. So let me type address as just to repeat. Let me say I press enter, it went to the course. Okay, where is the class? Notice that where is the class? Class is not there. So it went to the course. What is the problem? Okay, problem is, see, when you type this thing, when you type this thing 1 2 3 4 and you press this enter, when you press this enter, 1 2 3 4 is given to the variable, but the enter is still in the buffer. So what happens is, after this register number, the name, which is a string, simply takes this /n. It reads that /n because it's that /n is there in the buffer. When you type the integer will read only the numbers. It will not read this enter sign. Whatever you type the number 1 2 3 4 and press enter, that enter sign is still there in the buffer. So this name simply reads that thing, and it continues, and it's going to give you the next one. So what is the solution? You can do a lot of things. You can clear the buffer. You can do so many things. What I'm going to do is, this is the easiest one. Remember, when you are reading an integer number, when you type this 1 2 3 4 and press enter, that enter sign is still there in the buffer. So what you're going to do is, I'm going to simply write in dot next line. I'm going to do that. So what happens now? So you were typing, let's say you type this 1 2 3 4 here, 1 2 3 4. This is followed by this /n means this enter sign. You press this enter sign. 1 2 3 4 is taken and given to the number. Now this /n, which is still there in the buffer, is simply read by this next line. It's not doing anything. I'm not storing it into anything. You just read it, simply consume it, so that the buffer is empty now. So this buffer is empty, and when you get this name now, because the buffer is empty, it's going to wait for this next line. Otherwise this /n will be consumed by this, that is yes name, and that is going to be given to the yes name. I don't want that thing to happen, so I simply consume it. You simply consume one extra thing is there, you just consume it and then use it. So let me run it one more time and just show you what's going to happen this time. So you have the same scenario here. I'm going to say my choice is 1 and I type 1 2 3 4. Now I press this enter. Remember that when I press this enter, enter is there, that 1 2 3 4 is given to the variable, but enter is still there in the buffer. So when I press enter, what happens is that enter is consumed by this next line. So it's going to consume that thing. And once it consumes it, the buffer is empty. Because the buffer is empty, you will notice that it is going to wait for this name next line. It's going to wait for this one. Okay, and that's what is happening here. So if I type my name here and press enter, date of birth, again I'm going to say 2024. Remember, I have to type it in this same order. What was the 03 and 20. Okay, I press enter. Now you notice that one more problem. It has not waited for the address. Why? Because again same story, /n was here, that is enter sign was here. It is not consumed by the date. It will be given to the address. So what's the solution? Solution is one and the same. You simply write in dot next line. It will consume that no, that one extra leftover /n is there, that will be simply consumed. Okay, let me now run this for the last time to see whether I get all the variable that all the values that are required. I start with the choice 1. So my choice 1, register number 1 2 3 4, and the name is money. Date of birth again 2024 03 and 20. Okay, done. address is Udupi, enter, class is third sem, and course is BC. I think I have to do some things with that course. Course is BC, and nothing happens, you know very well. And I will type my favorite choice, that 5, to exit the program. So let me make this one as a course. Now, the date that I have just used is not required that you create that date, complicate your life, but it's up to you. Okay, you can complicate your life by writing that date, but my choice is you just keep it as string. Now the next thing, very important thing that we are supposed to do is we are supposed to connect to the database. So how do we connect to the database? So for that I am going to say class. You are familiar with that, class, and for name I need a driver. So where do I get this driver? So story is very simple. Once you are in the NetBeans, things are very simple. You go to the services. You go to the, don't go to this one. I will just remove that. Go to the one that you just created. This is the student database. Right click on it and then say properties. When you click on this properties, NetBeans is going to show you the properties. And within this property, you have the driver class, apache.org and something. Click on this ellipsis. You will be shown one more dialog box. Select it, click and drag, Control C to copy. So copy it, close this as well as close this one. It's done. Now come back to your program and just paste it. Everything is good except that there is a typed exception, because when you try to load a class, the class may not be existing. So I'm going to go to the bulb which is there right at this corner. I'm going to click on this bulb and I'm going to say surround the block with the try. If you say add throws, means it's going to add a throw statement to this method itself, which is I don't want that thing to happen. Maybe you can do it, but I don't want that thing to happen. Add surround the statements, which is going to just surround this line with the try catch. But if I say surround the block with the try catch, what NetBeans is going to do is, because I said block, the whole function is considered as one block. So I'm going to just click on this, and what you notice that the whole thing starts with the try. Whatever you did, it starts with the try, and it has right at the bottom, after even this while loop and all those things, it has added this catch statement, class not found. NetBeans will do the needful thing. You don't need to worry about that. So next one is I need a connection, naturally. So I'm going to say CONN connection. I press Control space, and NetBeans will give a lot of information. And you notice that the first one is the one that I really needed. I need a connection. This is an interface. Remember, it's not a class, it's an interface. So I'm going to say connection. Let me take CON is equal to, I will go to this driver manager. I'm going to just complete this. I press Control space, and driver manager is completed. And if you look at what the NetBeans has done, NetBeans has added import java.sql.connection, import java.sql.driver manager, all these things, and these two it has added because it is handling the logging. If you look at the catch statement here, it is logging that information. And if you don't know what is logging, just forget it. It is doing something. Okay. So I'm going to say driver manager, and what else I can say, I want a connection. So when you go to this driver manager, you just say get me the connection. For that, I'm going to go to the third override here. The first one is the name of the person, that is me, and the second one, I don't know whether I typed it in capital or small case. I just forgot. Sometime I forget. I think I typed it. Anyhow, let's see if it's not connecting. I will change it. My password is abcd1234. That was my password, and my URL is required. Just cross verify whether it's recording or not. I'll just cross verify whether. Okay, I suppose it is recording now, and the problem is my keyboard shortcuts for them is not working. Okay, okay, so let me. Okay, so there was one minor problem. I thought it is not recording. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's look at this one. Where is the connection URL? For that, let's go to the services here as usual, and within the services, right click at this point and then go to the properties. Remember, this is the one that I'm using, student database. Right click and then go to the properties, and within this property you have the driver class and you have this database URL. Click on the ellipsis in front of this thing. You will be shown one more dialog box. Select it, Control C to copy it, close this one, go back to your program and just paste it. When you paste it and put the semicolon, NetBeans will say that there is a typed exception, and then you have to handle that thing. Let's go to the bulb which is there on this edge here. Let's click on this one, and I'm going to say again, so add this catch clause, because already a try statement is there. If you notice that there is already a try statement, I'm going to say add catch clause. So when I add this, what the NetBeans has done is, if you go down, you will notice that it has added SQL exception, and it said that if there is an exception, it's going to log that information. So with that being done, you have the connection with the database, and that's not the end. You need a statement. So I'm going to say stmt statement, and I'm going to press Control space here, and you know very well this statement has to come from the java.sql. So I'm going to just press enter, and I'm going to say stmt is, and this how do I get this? I go to the connection, and in the connection I'm going to say create a statement, and it's going to create a statement for me. I'm going to just keep that statement. Now the next question is, how do I add that thing to my program? Now I'm going to create a string variable. I already have too many string variables here. I'm going to add one additional string statement called SQL, because I'm going to build a string and then use it for the execution. So here we have all the information in the case 1 that we have done here. When the user presses the case 1, you take the register number, you take the name, and so on and so forth. I'm going to build a query based on that, and I'm going to store that query in a string variable, and that variable name is SQL. So that SQL is a string variable that I'm creating so that I can store the string there. So SQL is equal to, I'm going to build that query now. So how do you build this particular query? Let's go back to the services again. I'm going to go to the services again, and within the services you have the table. If you click on this plus sign, you get this under your name, you're going to get this table. Right click on it and then say view data. When you do that, the NetBeans is going to show you the list of data which is already there in your database. I'm really not interested in that list. I want to insert a new record. So I'm going to click at this corner, and I'm going to say insert new record. So I'm going to do that thing. So I'm going to type the register number 1234 and the name, my name, and the date of birth. Let me click on this one if it is coming. Some date of birth, whatever it is. Address is Udupi. I'm just typing one letter here. Class is third here. Course is BCA. Okay, I'm not going to add it because this is not the place to add it. What is that I'm really interested in is I want to ask this one. Show me the SQL that you have generated for this particular query. So that's what I'm going to do it. I'm going to just click on show SQL, and it's going to say this is the SQL that I'm creating. Okay, so I'm going to select it, Control C to copy it, and close this one. Go back to my program. Remember, program is here. So just click on this program and then click here and then paste. Okay. Only thing that you must do is some minor thing that you have to do is it's going to come in the 2 lines over here. So I'm going to remove this up to here, and I'm going to get it in the one line. So this slash n and all those things are, it's not going to make your life complicated, but I just don't want them to be there. Okay, I'm going to keep it in one line. So what's the first thing? First thing is, you know very well, this is the register number. Okay, so how do you change this one? So remember, the trick is very simple. Just double click on it. Okay, press the double quotes two times double quotes. Okay, come in between. Don't worry about the other part. Just double click, press it, press two times plus sign. Done. Come again, use the back, the not the back, the left arrow, come into it, and you have this reg number, whatever variable that you have done it. Now you may get one extra thing, just remove it. If it is, generally it won't do it, but this time I don't know why it did. So let's go to the second one. Double click on the name. That's why I have selected one name here. Two times double quotes. Use the left arrow or the back arrow, not the backspace, the arrow keys on your keyboard. Get it in the middle, two times plus sign, use the arrow, get it in the middle, yes name, just press control space, that means we'll do the needful thing. So again, I'm going to select this one, double click, if you double click it will, okay, just kind of, okay, let's look at this one. If you double click, it's going to select only one thing. This time you must be careful. Remember, don't select that single code. That's really required. Okay. So two times double quotes, two times plus, if you say date of birth, DOB, okay. If you want, say to string, DOB is a variable of type that, DOB, what was that, DOB to string. Remember, I strongly feel that this is absolutely not required. Okay, but I'm going to correct it. I told you that I'm going to show it once and then remove it and then show it. That's not really required, because you can just create DOB as a string and avoid all the unwanted problems in your life. Okay, so let's go to the address here. Same story, don't select the single quote. Remember, there is a single quote here. Don't select that single quote, it is required. So two times double quotes, use the arrow and come back, two times plus sign, use the arrow, come back. And what was this? This was the address. So I'm going to say SAAD, control space, NetBeans will complete it. Again, double click and select this one, or just select it. Select only the number, not the single quotes. Two times double quotes, come in the middle, two times plus sign, and you have yes class. I'm pressing control space so that NetBeans will complete the needful things. Again, I'm going to double click and select this one. Two times double quotes, two times plus sign, come in the middle, and you have a yes course and control space to complete it. You're done with it. So your query is completed. It is going to go to the, it's going to be very large, but I'm going to just do it. Okay. If you want, you can break it. Okay, how do you break it? Suppose say I'm going to break it. I'm going to press two double quotes plus and press enter. It's going to come in the next line. Okay, that's not really required. If you didn't understood, don't do it. Okay, don't take the risk of doing it. Bring it to this single line during the examination. Nobody will argue that you have to get it in the next line. Just for your reference, I brought it here. Otherwise, it's not really required. Okay, so you have your query with you, and what are you going to do? I'm going to run this query. And how do you run this query? I'm going to go to this statement stmt. What is the name? Stmt. And I'm going to say execute update. Execute update. And you know very well, execute update is used for insert, update, and delete statement. So execute update will return an integer value. I'm going to do that thing. So NetBeans has done the needful things. I'm going to say int result. Remember, it's going to return a result back to me, which is of type integer. So I'm going to run that thing, and I'm going to just check whether that thing is proper or not. So if the return result, remember when you execute this query, it's going to return a result to you. If the result happens to be 1, that means one row is affected. With that, I'm going to yes out and say that student details are saved. Student details, let's say, details are saved. What about the else statement? Else statement, I'm going to say yes out, and I'm going to say something error, okay, while not style, while I'll make it a small case, while saving student details. Yeah, that's it. Done with this one. You have everything with you. Now, only thing that I'm going to do is one extra thing is I have opened the connection. I have opened the statement. Now, before I exit my program, I want to disconnect from the database. This is not a good idea. Remember, you make the connection only when you need the connection and immediately close it. This is a most efficient way. Just make a connection or keep the connection in a pool and then use it. Okay, so let me go over here, and when I say thank you, before I say thank you, I'm going to say stmt dot close. I'm going to close my statement as well as I'm going to close my connection. So this is required as a good student you are or a good developer. You're supposed to close the connection from the database before you say come out of it. In general, you are supposed to establish a connection only when it is really required and then terminate the connection immediately once your work is over. So let's run it and let's see what is going to happen. I don't know, some program is running over here. I'm going to terminate this one. And there is if there is one more, I'm going to just terminate that, okay, so that the things are stopped. Let me run it and I'll see whether I'm able to insert a record into the database. One thing, good thing that has happened over here is when I try to run it, I'm going to get a nasty error over here. You may get it or you may not get it. If you're lucky, you may not get it. But if you're not so lucky, you will get this exception saying that the class is not found. Which class is not found is that the Derby JDBC driver is not found. If you get this class, don't worry. If you get this error, don't worry. Just go to your project. Very important thing, you must know which is the project. That means to know that you must know which is the name that you have given to your project. That's really important. Now within this project, if the project looks like, open this project and go to this library. If you click on this library, you see that there is JDK and so on and so forth is there. That's good thing. You have to add that driver. So sometimes it doesn't take that driver, just add that driver. So how do you add this driver? Right click on it and then say add a library. That is your driver to this one, add library. So you would say add library. And when you click on this add library, NetBeans is going to show you a dialog box. The dialog box will look like this. So there are many the libraries are there. We are not really interested in all of this driver the libraries, but we are interested in definitely java.db.driver. So this is the driver that is there. It is there in the list, don't worry. You just have to add this one. That's it. When you add it, NetBeans will add all the related drivers. One is the client driver and network, and the other one, general one. Everything it is going to add it. If you get that thing, just go here, go to the add library and select the Derby driver, that is JavaDB driver, and then press add. That's done. If you get that, it's good that it came there when I run it. Now right click and this say run this particular program, and your program is going to go fine here. And I have driver manager get connection. Okay, I think in my case, no suitable driver. Let's see. Let me check the connection here. Let me check over here. And let's see whether this particular thing that I just used whether this was proper. I'm going to just go here, right click and then say not rename. If you get this rename every now and then, just say refresh and then go and then say go to the properties. And what was the connection URL that I had? I'm going to just select this one, Control C to copy it. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and to the run, and I'm going to say clean and build this project. Okay, so just so that it will rebuild the whole project again. If there is any error, it's going to go over here. So I went here and then say clean and rebuild the project. It's going to take some time for it to do something. I think I clicked on something else. So let me run it and see whether I get this particular thing. So I am going to get let me say driver manager, SQL driver manager get connection. No suitable driver found. Let's see what is the, let me check this driver manager. Where is this driver manager? Okay, SQL.driver manager. It is found here. I think I typed the name as M as capital. Let me just verify this one. I think that is the error. I had one confusion there. So if you notice that I'm getting a continuous error here, the reason for that is very simple. Actually, when I typed it in a wrong way. Let me go to this driver manager. Sorry about that again. When I talk and do it, sometimes I override the things. So I'm going to go here, driver manager and get connection. I want this driver manager and get connection. Driver MANA. Let me get that driver manager and then dot get connection. Okay. See, the problem here is in the get connection, URL is the first one, username is the next one, password is the last one. But because I was talking and doing it, so I typed this one at the end. Sorry about that. This should have been the first option, then the username, and the last one happens to be the password. Again, I'm going to make it a small case. That's why I'm repeatedly getting an error saying that we can't get. Definitely, it is searching for money and it is saying where is your driver. So you are so intelligent that you created a database, and now we are not able to get to that. Okay, so this is what has happened. Hope everything has been set except that these things are not really required. So this is the option. First is the URL, then the username and the password. Okay, sorry, I typed it in a very wrong way. So let me run it, and I think it's done. So there is nothing wrong. There is nothing, no trick that has been played. I just glanced to it to see whether I made a mistake or something, and then I realized that this should have been the first one to come. So we are able to connect to the database. So generally such a mistake won't happen, but sometimes happens. So, even with the everything set properly, you will make mistake. So let's go ahead with the add student, and you get the register number 123 4. Let's say 1234, and the name I'm going to say Suresh is the name, and he was born in 2021 05 and 24th. Okay, this is the year, month, and day, and the address here is say Vijay Mangalore. Let's say, and the class is third sem, not this third sem. Let's say okay, third sem. Let's say, and the course is BCom. Get done, and let's press enter, and you see that student details are saved. Get done. Well, I'm going to just exit this program by typing my favorite number, that is 5, and I will exit out of it just to see what has happened. Now let's go back to the SQL server here. Now, if you're closed this one, no, don't worry, there is no issue. Go to this services and right click on the table and then say view data. It's one and the same. If it is already open, you have an option. Two options are there. You can refresh here, Or you can rerun this query, that is select star from the money.student table. I'm going to rerun this one. I'm just going to click again. This is the output that it is showing. Okay, don't worry. This is the output. I just dragged it here, so it is showing there. But if you just click here, that will go, and you notice that the details of the Suresh 1234 Suresh Vijay Mangalore and BCom has been added. Now this is good. I'm not saying that that is bad. It's good, but the only thing that I don't want in that particular program is you can change this one. So instead of struggling and making it as a date, you can make it as a string. The reason why it is string, if you notice over here, at the end of the day, I have converted that date of birth into string. So this date type which was here, which I have declared here, this is date of birth. Finally, I'm going to convert it as a string. So it's not really required that you create a DOB as a date. It's not really required. So I'm going to just show you both of the way. It's up to you whether you want it, you do it. So my personal advice is don't unnecessarily don't create the trouble. So I'm going to make DOB as string itself. This will solve a lot of problem. What is the first problem? First of all, it is a string. So you go here, and instead of reading all these things, instead of doing this, I'm going to just put a remark statement for you. So instead of doing this, you just say DOB is in dot next line. Straightforward, this is going to come. Okay, this is it. Rather than getting the value out of it and remembering all those things, it's a straightforward, it's a string. You just read it as a line. What about this part? This part is there is no need to convert it into string because it itself is a string. You just add it as a string. This is straightforward. Okay, so you have not doing much of the thing, but it's up to you. Okay, I'm not saying that you do this or that or anything. I'm going to just run it and show you that it's going to work. Just run it, and this time let me go for the add record. And register number is 123. Very important during the examination. This is what I told you. You're going to make this mistake. You will repeat the primary key. Do not repeat the primary key. 1234 is already there. I am not checking for all those things. It's going to complicate the program. So when you show the demonstration during the examination, ensure that you don't type the same primary key, because your program is going to crash and they say that your examiner will say that there is something wrong in it. So be careful with that. So let me say the next name is Suma. She was born in 2001 in the month of June, say, let's say, and in the 19th, I don't know, maybe. And what you notice over here is it's not going to. So, oh, now there is one other problem. What is that one other problem? You see, I solved one problem and I ended up in another problem. What is this other problem? You see, notice here, after this thing, I actually have one extra. What is this? One extra next line. So this is the problem. I should not have kept that extra line there. What is the solution? What do you think I'm supposed to do it? I'm supposed to terminate it, and I'm going to show the demonstration again. There is one extra line here. You see that it's that's why it is waiting for that extra line. Press enter or something. I'm going to just press enter, and I'm going to remove that line from now. Remember this extra thing. Why it is blank here is I gave the date here. I gave the date of birth here, but there is one extra in dot line, and that's why it is waiting here. Okay, I'm going to just press enter, and it's going to go to the address. So I terminated this by pressing enter, and it's going to go to this address, and it's waiting for the address. Let's say she is from Kattapadi, okay, Udupi, and she is in the 4th sem, and let's say BBA. Okay, done with it. Let me press the choice 5, and let's see whether Suma is there. I'm going to go here to this one, and I'm going to rerun this query or refresh it, up to you. Here, if you closed this one, go here and right click and then say view data. It's up to you. I'm going to refresh it just to show you what is the difference. You see that Suma has come. Now, one thing before I forget, I'm going to remove this new line here. That's one extra line which was there. And see, all these troubles, you can solve it by not going for the date data type. So all this trouble came into picture because you said it is a date is of type SQL.date. If you had selected it as a string, all this problem would have solved. Okay, anyway, whatever we have done, it is done. Let's go ahead with the next part and let's go to the case number 2. With that, case 1 is over. Case 2 is, let's look at what is that case 2. And what is that we are supposed to do? Delete a student. How do you delete a student? First of all, I'm going to ask them, give me the register number, and based on, because you know very well, register number is the primary key. I'm going to ask enter. I don't want ln here. So let me keep it as this one. Enter student register number. Okay, that's it. And I'm going to read that reg number is equal to in dot next line. Okay, next not next line, next int. Okay, done. Got the thing. Now, how do I delete from the student? Okay. First thing is I'm going to cross verify whether that student already exists in the database or not. That's the first thing. How can you delete the student when the number is not there? Okay, I'm going to. You may say that you're complicating it, but that's required. Before you delete, you check whether that is there or not. How do I do that thing? To do this one, I'm going to say select count. I'm going to use the capital, let's say count. I'm going to count how many students are there with that register number. So count from the table where register S T reg. I'm going to press control space where register number is equal to say 1 2 3 4. I'm going to run this one. So what is that I'm saying is count how many students are there with the register number 1 2 3 4. If I run this query, what is the answer you must get? Just click going to click over here. Answer you are going to get is 1. Okay. Why? Because there is one student with that register number, and I think that student is there. Let me show it one more time. I'm going to just right click and say view data just for comparison. So there is 1 2 3 4 student is there, so that is why Suresh with the 1 2 3 4 student is there. So this is count 1. Okay, so this is count 1, and that is why I get the count 1. So I'm going to use this as my query for my removal. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say SQL. Remember, SQL is a variable that I've just created here. Right at the top, I created a variable called as SQL, which is of type string. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say that SQL is equal to this. Okay, but the register number is not 1 2 3 4. Register number is the one that I'm reading from the user. So whatever user has given the register number here, this register number I'm going to query and I'm going to check whether that register number register number exists in the database or not. Okay, so that being done, let me run this query. So I'm going to say stmt dot okay execute what is this execute. So I am supposed to execute a query there. So what is it query that I'm going to execute is ordinary the execute query statement. So execute a query, and this is the query that I'm going to execute. And if you notice this execute query, let's bring this one execute. Let's bring this one. Okay, let me show you. I think it's filling it up. Let me try from here. This execute query, it's going to return a result set. That's very important thing. It's going to return a result set. Okay, so can I create a variable result set? I'm going to keep this result set right at the top. Okay, just to make the things easier to look like. So I'm going to say result set. Again, result set is from the SQL. Result set rs. I'm going to create a variable called result set because I will be using it again and again and again. So I need that result set. So I'm going to just keep this result set here, and I'm going to say result set rs equal to statement dot execute query. And what is a query is the SQL statement I just created it. And I'm going to say the first thing whether when I get this result set. So I'm going to say result set dot next. That is, you know very well, whenever you create whenever you get the result set, the pointer will be outside. So you just move the pointer inside by calling this result rs dot next, and I'm going to check if so result set dot get the integer value of the first column. Remember, I'm asking it to give me this value. Give me this value from my database. So give me this value. If this value happens to be 1, if that happens to be 1, then you say that whatever you do it, okay, you delete this record or you do whatever you want. Else, if it is not there, I'm going to say that what I can say, record not found. Okay, that is better, I think. Record not found. Yeah, or student record not found, whatever you say. Okay, student record not found. Okay, if it is 1, that means remember, if the record exists, for example in this case 1 2 3 4 exists, that is why I'm getting the count as 1. Okay, count as 1. Otherwise count will be 0. So if it is 0, there is no record, there is no point in deleting it. What if the record exists? Then I have to write a separate query. What is a separate query? Separate query is what is the query? Can you remember what's the query? So I'm going to say delete from what is this money dot htd table, where what is the condition? Where est register number is equal to 1 2 3 4. Remember, this is the query that you generally write it. Yes, is it not? So delete from the particular table where this is the condition that comma is not required for us. Okay, so let me copy this one, get it back. So this is my query, and this is not 1 2 3 4 is not the number that I want. Number is a register number that I'm getting the input from here. So whatever register number that I am getting, that same number I will delete it. So simple as that. Okay, done with the delete from that. Okay, so I'm going to run an update query, and you know very well, whenever you run this update query, you're going to get a result. So I'm going to say stmt, and I'm going to store that in the result table, and I'm going to say execute update. Remember, I'm deleting it. So I'll get whether it is 1 or 0. So what is the problem with that variable? Result is already used, so I'm going to use the variable res. Okay, result is already used, so I'm going to say res result. Somewhere I used the result here. Okay, so I'm going to say res result. Okay, if res is equal to 1, that means you have deleted it. Otherwise there was a problem while deleting it. So I'm going to say yes out. And what do you say? Record deleted. So simple as that, record deleted. Okay, otherwise what you're going to say? Otherwise you're going to just say yes out, and you're going to say error while deleting student records. Okay, I'm going to say that. Okay, that's it. That being done, you can delete the student record. Let's try it, and try this particular thing. Hope the logic is proper. So I have 2 records here, and let me show you the 2 records that I have. One is for Suresh and other one is for Suma. So I'm going to get rid of Suresh now. How do I get rid of Suresh? Is I'm going to go to my second choice here, choice number 2. and it's going to ask what is the register number. 1 2 3 4 is the register number. Press 1 and say delete. Oh, record deleted, and you got that thank you. You know why I got that thank you? Okay, I don't know whether you guessed it right or not. The reason I got thank you is I forgot to add the break statement. Very important. I think I have added that break statement. In any case, after the everything in the switch statement, you are supposed to add the break statement. So I just forgot that. That's why it went to the thank you. Let me go over here, and this is the one that I have it. Remember, you must look at the query. This is a select star from the query. Yeah, I have the one more option over here, wherein I have many other queries are there. Don't run them. Run this query and just refresh it. And you notice that Suresh is gone. So when I say select star from money table here, and if I run this query, you notice that Suresh is gone altogether. Okay, done with the Suresh, and I have a break statement. Let's go with the next statement and case number 3. What is this? Case number 3. So let me go up and see what is the case number 3. Update the student. student. Update student. So what is the, let me say, what is that update? Update to student address. So we are supposed to address, update only student address. So let's say start the same story, update student address of the specified record. Okay, so that's it. So I'm going to ask, because it's a primary key, which one is the primary key is our register number. I'm going to say enter register number. Again, I don't want ln here. I'll make it as this one, and I'm going to say reg number is equal to in dot next integer. Okay, dot, I got the register number. Same story is the one that I'm going to get it. So update the address. So how do I update the address? Remember, when you are running it in the URL, you can see this her address. Okay, but when you are running it in the black and white world, you can't see her address. So in that case, what are you going to do? Remember, the old story is still there. Again, I don't know whether I have to do this one. I'm going to run this old story here. Okay, what is this old story? Is where is that old story gone? Okay, this is the story. I'm going to copy this story. What is this story? First, I check whether that register number exists. That story has to be there. So this is count from this one where the register number is equal to register number. Okay, if that register number exists. Okay, what is the problem? SQL exception. What is the SQL exception? Okay, let me use this one. Else. So I check whether the register number exists, or as usual, okay, student record is not found. This is the story is there whether you like it or not. You ask the register number, you check whether that register number already exists. If it is not there, you say student record itself is not there, how can you edit it? As simple as that. Suppose if the record exists, then what are you going to do? First of all, read the previous value and show that this value exists. So how do you do that thing? You are going to say, look at what is the Suma's register number. If you look at the Suma's register number, her register number is 1235 is her register number. So I'm going to say this is not required. I'm not deleting her. So 1 2 3 4 5 is already there, and I'm going to say it is not count here. I'm going to say that's st address, is it not? St address. This is, I want her address. I want to read her address. So I'm going to just read her address. Let me just run it, and you notice her. I got her address. First, I'm going to show her original address, and then tell them that this is the old address. If you want to change it, you change the address. So this query, I'm going to run it. You may say that this is too much, sir. That is too much, because you have to, as a good developer, you have to show the old value first. Remember, it is obvious when you are doing it on a GUI. So when you are doing it on a, what is this one? Is obvious you can see her address, but on a black and white screen, you are on your console, you can't see it. Now this is not the one. I want the register number that is supplied as usual. So whatever register number you are reading here, that register number I want to read it. So first I'm going to get the result. So how do you get the result set? Statement dot execute the query. Yeah, you got the query, and as usual, rs dot next is to go to the next record. Remember, whenever you get this result set, one thing you must remember, you get the result set, but the pointer will be outside. So you call, if you forget to call that rs dot next, you'll get unwanted error there. So you got her number. So I'm going to say yes out, and I'm going to say old address is this time let it come on the next line. Okay, should I use slash n, or maybe in the same line I'm going to just say old address is rs dot next rs dot what is this, get a string, and what is the column id? I think column id is 1. I hope the so you get the, what is it, you got the next thing, and did I close it? Okay, so old address is this one. Okay, you got this thing, and you say yes out. Enter new address. Enter new address. Yeah, you're going to say, should I use ln, or because it's going to be, let me, I don't like that thing to come in the next line, so I'm using print line. Okay, this is my style. Okay, I can't help you if you don't like it. So I'm going to say string address is in is my scanner class, and I'm going to say next line. Okay, next line. Okay, done. I got that thing. Now I have to update it. How do you update the thing? How do you update it? So what is the command to update it? So you say update, update. So let's say update money dot, okay, student table. Okay, set yes address, yes t address equal to, okay, some address, okay, where, okay, st register number is equal to 1 2 3 4 5. So this is the query that usually you run it. Update a table, set the address is equal to this one. So I'm going to just use this one, and I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to say SQL. This is my SQL. If you just paste it here, don't paste the semicolon here. Okay, so now this is not the register number. Register number is reg number. You know very well that no, it is not always the constant register number. Whatever register number you have read here in this enter register number, this register number, whatever you are reading it, same register number you are going to update it, obviously. So how do you update it? Remember again, when you update it, you are going to get the return value. Because I've already used uh, RT or return, I'm going to use a new variable here. I think I should have used a common variable. So this time I used RES last time. I'm using some variable. You can use X, Y, Z, T, whatever it is. Okay, if you don't like to use it, what is the solution? If you start like this, so that's easy. Why to create unnecessary nothing? Okay, now the problem is, okay, I just got one problem. Okay, in any case, let me do this one. Okay, if okay, what is this? uh, statement dot execute execute update. Okay, execute, what is this? Execute update. Okay, execute update. If this is equal to, I'm straight away I'm writing it. Okay, if this is equal to 1, that means you have updated it. Then yes out, you say that what you can say, record address updated, address updated. Okay, else as usual yes out, and what you say, error. Okay, while updating address, you're going to say that. Now only problem is, say you ask the user give me the address. Now the old address, whatever her address is there here, Vijay something about, where is she from, Katpadi. So her address is there, no doubt. Now what if the user simply press enters? So I want user to type an address. Okay, so this is my condition. Otherwise type a blank. Okay, but don't press anything. So if there is nothing is there in the address, I'm not going to update it. Now it's up to you, but I think that is not required. See, the only thing is, if you don't, if you just by mistake, if you press enter, the old address itself will be vanished. But I'm not going to take care of it. I'm going to run it and show you. What do I mean by that? If you're getting confused, what is that? So let me run it and this show you what is that. I have only one person with me now, and that is Suma. So let me go to the third option over here, 3 here, and it's going to ask 1 2 3 1 2 3 5. Okay, Suma, and I'm going to get you see this is what has happened. Okay, uh, see, it showed me her address, that is Katpadi, old address is Katpadi. But what you notice over here is when it didn't ask me for the address, because that enter sign was there. And what was the end result is I lost the address altogether. If you look at, if you run this query, Suma has no address at all now. So address is gone. Address is add, it has come. Okay. So I want to check whether the address is blank or not. If the address is blank, then I will not set this one. So I want to check that particular thing. First of all, let me make one small correction here. And what is this one small correction is, I ask enter the, what is enter the register number. I must be careful. So with this I must be careful. And what is this thing, whenever I read this thing, there is an extra enter statement. I'm going to just say next line. You just read it, you know very well. You type the address register number 1235 and press enter. That enter is not read. Okay, that's it. And also I have done a small mistake. This is not the address. What is the address? I'm going to just double click here, press 2 times. This is the original address. What is the address? Address is this add that I'm typing here. Whatever address I'm typing it, I'm going to do it. Now I'm going to just make one small thing, because sometimes that may be required. Some people don't want the address. In that case, how do they delete it? Is just put a blank here. Okay, let me run it and let me show you. This time it will be nice to see what is the effect. Now before I run it, let me show you what is the address of the Suma. Address of the Suma now is ADD. This happened because of the last query, which blindly updated that ADD. This time I have changed the address as variable ADD. Okay. So let me go to the output and let me show you what is the problem. Now suppose if I go here and if I enter the Suma, the address of the Suma, now it's going to show you the old address is add. Now suppose what if I don't want to change this address? That's the correct address. Now in that case I have to retype that address. Okay, so what if the user has not typed anything? See, I'm going to do this mistake. I'm going to just press enter. Okay, when I press enter, the original address, if you look at here, thank you, everything came well and good. But what happened in the original record here, if you look at it here, that data is lost altogether. You don't have the address anymore. Got the thing? So this may be good or this may be bad. So before you update it, so here if you look at this particular place wherein you write this update query, you can just check. I'm just giving you, I'm not going to do this one because it's going to again complicate the matter. So you can check if address, you are reading this address here, right? You are reading this address. If you say address length, so say address dot length of it, if it is greater than 0, then only you will update it. Otherwise you say I'm not going to update, you just leave it blank. It's up to you. Remember, it is whole thing is up to you. Then some people are going to argue and say that what if I want to erase this address, whatever address is there, you type to some whatever address is there, no? So I want to remove that address. In that case, how to remove it? Then keep it as blank. Okay. There are two types of people who are going to argue. So I will leave it to you. If you want to complicate the program, you check whether they have actually typed something as an address. If the length of this string is greater than 0, then go and update it. Otherwise, don't update it. Otherwise, if you are not getting what I'm talking about, is just type what is here. Okay, forget the thing, just type it here, it's going to run. Only problem with me again is after all the case statement, the last thing in the case statement should have been break, which I have not done. Okay, and you are supposed to put a break at the end. Let's go to the last case number 4, and before I forget that thing, I'm going to type this break here. So this time I don't want to apologize for not putting the break here. And what is that fourth thing that we are supposed to do? Search for a particular record. So that is the last challenge that we have, and the last challenge is we are supposed to search. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's search for it. How do you search for it? I'm going to search on the register number. I'm going to say enter register number. Again, I don't want ln here. This is my style. Again, you are free to use ln. And I'm going to say reg number is equal to in dot next int. Okay, got this one. Next int. And if you want, you can read the last enter sign, but I'm not going to do that thing. Okay, so what else we have? Enter the register number. We got the register number. And what are we going to do? We are going to write a SQL statement, and we are supposed to read the content from there. So we are going to go and we are going to run this query. Select star from the table where I'm going to put, I think that thing is there. Select star from my table where the register number is this. This is the statement, okay, that I'm going to run. Select star from your table where register number is not this register number. Register number is the one that you are reading. This register number, whatever you are reading, you just run the query. And what are you going to do? You are going to run this query and you're going to check for the result set. I'm going to say stmt dot execute this query. And when you execute this query, first thing can happen is it may not return any value. So I'm going to say if rs is not equal to null, which is not returning anything, rs is not equal to null, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say rs dot next. Okay. So you got that thing, and then I'm going to print yes out. Okay. Student details are, okay, maybe we can say yes out and one dash 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 line. Maybe to make if you don't have any other work in the lab, you can during the examination you can do all these things. Otherwise, don't waste your time during the examination, definitely. And what is the register? How do you get this register number? I'm going to say rs dot to get int and integer the first field. I want to get that first field, and I'm going to do that thing for the other one. What is the other? I'm going to just paste a few of them and keep them handy. So what is the next is the name of the student, and this name of the student is the second column. And what else you have is the date of birth, DOB, date of birth, and this is the third column. And what else you have here is address, and this is going to be fourth column. I'll just paste it a few times. Two are enough. What else we have is the class is the 5, and the next one is the course is the 6th, and maybe a out dash dash dash. Okay, so something of this type is going to suffix. Okay, that's it. I'm going to just right click and say format. So you have an option. You don't right click on any blank area and you get an option to format it. It's going to automatically format your code if it is cluttered. So done with this. So you got everything there. Let me give it a try. Okay, first of all, let me run it and then see the output. So I got the output here. Let me run this output. So first of all, search for the student, and what is search for number 5, 1, 2, 3, 5, and what is the problem? Register number null. Oh, sorry. Extremely sorry about that. See, this first one is integer. So sometimes you have to be careful. All of them are string. Sorry about that. And I don't know how many times I need to apologize for missing this one. This is not going to be an integer, it's going to be string. Okay, the rest everything is string. First one is only integer in my case. This is string, this is string, everything is string. Okay, this is string, this is string, this is going to be string. Done. Okay, so let's give it a last try for this. Okay, I'm there with this. So register number is I want to search 1, 2, 3, 5. Done. Okay, so student details are register number, Suma, date of birth, address. She didn't have the address, I suppose. I kept the address as blank. Fourth semester BBA. So let me try with the new student. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say so I'm going to go over here and let's start from the beginning. Add a student. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 6. Remember, this is a primary key. That's very important there. So I'm going to say Deepa. Okay, Deepa key. Done. Her address is again when you are showing these things during the examination, kindly don't unnecessarily don't add something that will create an exception. So when you are showing the output, and some I've seen some students, they purposely type something which is wrong. They themselves know that the values are wrong, and then the examiner will get frustrated with your output. So show something which is all proper. So what you can say is Puttur DK. Okay, something. Address is Puttur, and where is the class? Class is say third sem, and she is from MBBS. Okay, so that's her class. Done with her. So let's first of all update her, and I'm going to, before I do that, I'm going to just update this one. So I'm going to search for 1, 2, 3, 6. She is in Puttur DK. You notice I gave the Puttur DK as the address. So let us transfer to where you can say, let's say, Tukut, okay, Tukut, Mangalore. Anyhow, I forget about the spelling. Okay, Tukut, Mangalore. She's been transferred there. Okay, to Tukut, Mangalore. Let's search for her only. 1, 2, 3, 6 is number 1, 2, 3, 6 is her number, and just see. So Deepa K and Tuput Mangalore semester and BCA and all are there. Let me show you that whole story here by running and showing you that I'm just running this query again. Just click here and you see Deepa K, her address is there in the database. Not that I'm not showing a fake output here. Let me again, if you get this kind of thing, remember there are a lot of tabs are there. You have to come back to the one that you are running. So this is one tab, this is one tab, this is one tab in the output. I'm talking about this output. The one that you are running is this one. Okay, so come back to that one, and I'm going to get rid of this Deepa. How do I get rid of? I'm going to say 2, and let's say goodbye to Deepa. 1236 is her address. I mean her register number. Press enter, and this is gone. Record deleted. Let me confirm that the record is deleted. I'll go back to this query and rerun this query again. And you notice if I click here, you notice that Suma is only left over here. Now you go to this output and you will see this is the output here. Don't get panic. Click on the one that you are running. This is the one that you are running. And the last thing what you can do is you can type my favorite one, that is the 5, and then press enter and say goodbye. Thank you for your interest. We will meet again in the next class.